Welcome back. The South Dakota women's basketball team currently boasts an unblemished 10-0 record in Summer League play after earning solid wins over Western Illinois and NDSU last week. Additionally, the Coyotes moved up to the number 11 spot in the College Insider Mid-Major poll from number 15. For more on last week's games and the remaining league schedule, here's Jay Elsen with head coach Dawn Plitzuweit.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Round 2, Dawn, with Western Illinois coming up last week. I know this was pretty anticipated, especially after what you guys did to them down at their place last year. But let me ask you this. I know it's two different teams, Denver and Western, but some aspects of their offense are similar in that they really love the perimeter shot. So did playing Denver right before Western help with the game plan defensively at least a little bit?
Well, maybe in the first half it did. I thought we did a really nice job defensively in the first half of that game. And at the same time, we played really well on the offensive end, too, and built a sizable lead at half. Then Western went to a slight change in their offense and put 5 guards on the floor and really spaced it. And that made it really tough for us to guard. And we didn't do a great job. They were able to really dice us up in the second half of that game.
Offensively in the first half, you're up 5 after 1. Really got it going there in the second quarter. And J.C. Bradley, once again, a catalyst for you offensively, just like she was over the weekend at Denver. Really had a nice quarter for you, very efficient with the basketball. 10 of her game-high 21 points came in that frame.
Well, I think J.C. is someone who really understands when teams are playing in a zone how to get into some really good spots to get some shots. But I thought that Western Illinois really flew at her, and so she had some opportunities to shot fake, put it on the floor, and make some decisions. When teams play in a man, and later in the game, Western Illinois switched into a man, she also understands how to move against a man to get shots, not just shots on the perimeter, but scores around the rim.
In the second half, you got that lead up to as many as 21 points. You kind of hit on it a little earlier. I mean, Western's that type of team that even a 21-point lead in the second half never feels safe because they can come back so quickly, and that's exactly what we saw happen. So how'd they get it going on the offensive end? Because they were struggling to shoot the ball early.
Well, they made some adjustments, and I thought really Clemens started to really penetrate. Higginbotham got really hot during a stretch where she got to the rim and scored it, where she got some not necessarily even open threes. They were somewhat contested threes, but she made them from deep, and she made them over the top of kids' hands and played really, really well. And that kind of gave them momentum. And during that stretch, then all of a sudden you see, the Kaufman kid starting to hit a big shot, and Clemens hits a 3. And you kind of have to pick and choose your battles with her because she's so explosive, Clemens is, and so quick that if you get up in pressure, she's going by you. If you play a little bit off her, you might give up a shot to her, and she was capitalizing in all kinds of ways.
In the fourth quarter, they cut it to 3. I think it was 3 different times, but each and every time your team had a response. And so what can you say about the way your team was able to close that game out?
Well, I thought that our young ladies kind of on the floor, but also during timeouts, just had that look that they understood what they needed to do. Then it was a matter of just executing and finishing it out. And we've been in that situation a few different times. So I think there's an understanding that we are able to do it and finish it out. And they did a really nice job in that game of taking care of business, but also making some big shots when we needed some.
So you get the win there to complete the season sweep of Western Illinois. North Dakota State then came to town on Saturday. You found out shortly before this game that you were not going to have Allison Arns. Bummer there. What can you tell us about that situation?
Well, it came a little bit as a surprise to us and certainly didn't have a lot of the time to adjust to it. We've had a number of young ladies who've seen significant minutes. So moving Allison out of the lineup, put other kids on the court that had been getting some significant minutes. At the same time, you're losing a player who gives you an awful lot. We saw in the Western Illinois game, she didn't score as many points, but she grabbed 6 to 8 rebounds. She had 6 block shots. She had 5 or 6 steals. So the way that she plays gives you an awful lot. And we didn't have that at the beginning of the game. And, from her standpoint, we don't really know what the status is at this point in time yet.
Okay, well, without her early on, it seemed like the offense just didn't have as much of a flow as it normally does. Was that coincidental, or were you really feeling her absence there?
Well, I think we were feeling her absence there. I thought certainly even, that morning in the shoot-around, we didn't quite have the same zip and pop some of our kids did, but I thought our young ladies withstood that. And I think what we talked about after the game is, unfortunately, that happens. You don't know how to really explain why that is, but the sign of a tough team in a really together group of young ladies is that you weathered that storm and you figured out how to bring that about when maybe you weren't playing to the best of your ability. And I thought in the second half we played very, very good basketball on both ends of the court.
Yeah, North Dakota State did hang with you for that entire first half, down just 3 at the break, but a lot more efficient offensively in that second half, particularly from the perimeter, started knocking out a lot of those shots.
What we did and what was great to see is that it was distributed. We've really counted on JC to hit a lot of those shots. We've counted on Elsen to stick a lot of those shots. And in this game, we had Manny McKeever hitting shots. Kira Duffy got hot, and she got hot from long range. Chloe Lamb hit I think 4 of them in that game. And then also Taylor Frederick came in off the bench and gave us some very, very good minutes.
You mentioned Chloe Lamb. It was her specifically, she picked up a lot of that slack in the absence of Elsen on Saturday, offensively and in other ways, but she finishes with a career-high 20 points. And how much have you seen her grow over the course of her freshman season?
Her best days are still far into her future, but at the same time, she's such a coachable kid. She has a high basketball IQ. She's a very tough kid, so she continues to pick up on some small details of the game that have really helped her, and I think she's going to continue to do that because she's just understanding she understands the flow and the tempo of the game, and now is going to pick up some of the more minor details of where to exactly help from, how quickly do you have to get to this kind of a shooter, and how do you guard different kids, but that'll come for her.
10-0 now in the Summit League with Fort Wayne on the docket this week on the road. What are your thoughts on everything that you've accomplished to this point and what you've got in front of you with the Mastodons?
Well, we look ahead, obviously, to Fort Wayne and an opportunity to go on the road. Fort Wayne had a really tough stretch. We played them probably 6 or 7 games ago for them when it was the first of a 6-game road swing. Now they come off that 6-game road swing and we play them at home. So we feel like going onto their home floor. They're going to play. They play well on their home floor. They're going to play really energized because of the fact that they've been on the road for so long. So we understand that our urgency to take care of business, get some ball pressure, finish plays will be really paramount.
All right. Well, congrats on a great week. Safe travels to you, and we'll talk again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jay.
All right. Thanks, Doc. Kelly, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Jay. The Coyotes and the Mastodons tipped off already in Fort Wayne at 5 p.m. Central, and if you're not tuned in yet, you can find the links to live audio, video, and stats for the game on GoYotes.com. When we come back, it's Water Cooler Talk with Jody and Jandy, where they'll dive even deeper into today's signees. Stay right here.